Hey, Jack.
Hello, Dennis.
Hey, Branson. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine, sir. Oh,
All right.
you look like that guy that went to court that time and he showed up as a cat. Do you remember that?
No, I don't know that.
Oh yeah.
Yo, that is the funniest video you will ever see. I will tell you, do not be drinking anything. You will spit it out. Because it's the judge, it's the plaintiff, it's the lawyer, and the lawyer shows up as a cat with a cat filter on in a Zoom conference and can't get it off. And he keeps telling the judge, I am not a cat.
And
It
and
is,
he couldn't hear anybody telling him what he was doing, or he couldn't figure out how to undo it.
yeah.
Too funny. Well, they just Zoom just introduced a whole bunch of what they call avatars. There's about 10 of them. So you can be a cow, a pig, a dog, all kinds of stuff. So I thought I'll just use it when we get started here so everyone can get kind of a chuckle. Hey, Tammy, how are you? So, yeah, anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. I guess the mouth kind of moves in sync with my what I'm saying, I guess, or I don't know. Well, I don't know. So, all right, well, we'll give it a few more minutes. I'll probably have to repeat this, but I'll let you all know. So, I reached out to Walmart several months ago when they kind of announced this thing called Walmart GoLocal. And in a nutshell, what they're trying to do is give, among other things, is give folks like ourselves who are doing e-commerce online, particularly in small towns and rural areas, basically trying to become really replace FedEx or UPS or whatever you're using to do your deliveries. And on top of that, they're trying to add a lot of things that you don't have available to yourself right now, like for example, same day delivery. Directly uh, within an hour or two to within a certain mile radius. So, and the other thing that caught my eye about it is because Walmart is so large and the way they think, it's actually very cheap, which is unusual. Normally, when you get an external company doing things, you have to do all kinds of trade-offs to determine is it worth what you're compared to what you're doing now. And I can tell you, just to give you an idea, just one small idea. Now, this is not available absolutely everywhere, but it is available a lot of places. There's same day delivery within a 10-mile radius of the pickup location where they pick up your products is $10. And that compares very favorably. Well, it's way cheaper than any other same day delivery. It actually compares pretty favorably with USPS or other, FedEx and all that kind of stuff. They will deliver up to 20 miles for $15. So slightly different. But anyway, I wanted to let me turn off my avatar. I wanted to just cover some of that today, and basically because they've reached out to me, and this is kind of a push, and we're very very fortunate from my perspective because the person I'm dealing with is the executive in charge of the whole program. So she is really good. She's really interested in working with small businesses. She's a young person. She was head of delivery for Uber Eats, and Walmart recruited her. So she's done this kind of thing for quite a long time. So, and then I'm going to repeat all this in a minute. So sorry about that, everybody. But I will just wait another minute or two, and we'll see. Hey, Kime, how are you?
Oh, doing well, Dennis. I hope you are.
Good. You don't have your Pink Hill shirt on today.
No, I don't. I didn't.
I
I
don't
didn't.
either.
But yeah, I noticed that we coordinate more than most. I'm like, oh,
Well,
we.
my wardrobe is this home wardrobe is primarily t-shirts.
Yep,
So it's not too
I hear
difficult.
you.
You know,
Yeah,
we probably, how many t-shirts can you have, right? They're all basically one version of the same thing, I think.
I think yes, indeed.
Hey Grant, how are you today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm okay, as far as I know.
Glad to hear it.
All right. We're going to get started here. We have an iPhone 11 joining, whoever that is. Who is iPhone 11? One second. Okay. Just for 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Who is iPhone 11? Hey Ashley, how are you?
Hi, Dennis. This is Sana. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just making
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's me. I was actually just trying to figure out how to change that. I don't know how to. So I am iPhone 11.
All right. When random iPhones start showing up, you know you've made it, right?
If you go to your three dots at the top in the corner and click it, you can change your name from iPhone.
I'm actually looking at that. What do I click on? I'm on iPhone, obviously, and it's what is it? Meeting settings.
It should be right on. You might have to do it, Dennis. You might have to click on the three dots and then just change your name.
Okay, let me see if I can do it. Yep, I can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Branson, I tell you, man, you have a future in this business. All right.
He's all over it. I love it.
Yeah, I tell you, I just sit here and stumble and click, and he's sitting there looking, going, shaking his head slowly, and said, God, these poor people. All right. Well, I am going to take 1 second to show you something really fun. I meant to do this for everybody here. So let's see here. Just so you know, you don't get too bored. I am coming up in the world. I'm now a dog, and Zoom has added all kinds of avatars that you can do. So I thought that was kind of cool. So anyway, I'll stop now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So what brought this on today, this change in the schedule? Some time ago, I reached out to Walmart because they had announced a program that I thought would be really great for many of you all, and it's called Walmart GoLocal. And basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to become the delivery platform for small e-commerce businesses, among other objectives. And one of the things that let's see, what are we doing here? Okay, one of the things that yeah. Hello. Okay. Let me see. I have to rename Sana again. Rename Sana.
Yeah, sorry, I dropped out.
Yeah, I know what that's like. Okay. So now you're here twice on it for whatever it's worth. But anyway, so I reached out to them and said, look, we have a rural business accelerator. We're trying to help smaller rural areas, rural e-commerce businesses, really scale and grow. And just by pure luck and happenstance, the woman in charge of the program reached out to me. So we've been engaged in a conversation about bringing this program to you all and to others in North Carolina. I'm going to show you some stuff about it. I think the main thing many of you would probably think about is cost. And from what I can tell, you all would be a better judge, of course. From what I can tell, it's extremely competitive. For example, they have a same day delivery option where the product can be delivered same day. That's $10 for within a 10-mile radius and $15 within a 20-mile radius. And your product gets delivered the same day, often within a couple hours or so, depending on your location. But they have all kinds of other options as well. And so I wanted to go over it, introduce you to it, give you the contact information for those of you that are interested. They're not quite in every single area, but just to kind of step back for a second, if you look at Walmart from a strategy perspective, they are located everywhere. If you look at North Carolina and you look at Walmart stores, one of the things that I have worked with, and I know Jack runs into this when you deal with farmers, sometimes, you're trying to get a farmer or you're trying to get let's say an oyster fisherman or someone like that who to say, hey, look, you can go direct to consumer, and they'll look at you and like, hey, I live in the middle of nowhere. How in the heck am I going to get that product out? And the potential of this program is, I'm hoping that, for example, you could take your product to your closest Walmart and they could pick it up there and deliver it for you. The other aspect of it and we're going to watch a couple of videos here, it's white label, meaning it's got your name on it. It doesn't have Walmart's name on it. So it's literally like you are doing your own delivery service. And I know that may sound crazy to you, but one of the trends that's happening in e-commerce, and you're seeing it more in the payment space, if you think about it, if you even think about maybe 10 years ago, maybe less than that, if you were building a website to sell something online, you basically had a choice between MasterCard, Visa, and then PayPal. Those were kind of the choices. Sometimes you could get American Express, stuff like that. Well, notice now there are all kinds of different payment vehicles. We have Apple Pay. We have, the list goes on and on and on. And the reason for that is because people have figured out that having that payment information is very valuable, particularly if you are, like we've been talking about, where your goal is to get your own first party data, not to have to deal with third parties. I can see where you all will be able to white label your own payment service. I believe it's coming. It's right around the bend, in fact, where you would actually have, Mrs. Ruth's payments as an example, and you would capture that data and you would, be able to benefit from all that transaction information. So that's the trend, and that's why these delivery services are going white label. Everybody has an opinion about the post office. Everyone has an opinion about FedEx. Everyone has an opinion about UPS. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. Think how much more powerful it can be if you could build your own brand or your own quality. Like, this is Mrs. Ruth's delivery is really awesome. They brought me my jam in time for the party I was going to have or whatever. So I'm going to share a couple of things, a couple of short videos, and we're going to go through kind of the little website that they've set up, which gives an explanation, and I'll try to answer any questions you might have. And then I will be sure to connect everybody to this group at Walmart. It is a big corporation. It's hard to find people who work in your particular thing, trust me. So we're very, very fortunate to have the interest and the attention of the person who's actually running the program. So it can work both ways. That person could also be reassigned or moved over, or boss, whoever's above her says, don't bother with those little people in North Carolina. But at the moment, we have their time and attention. So let me do this. And okay, so the first one we're going to watch is we're going to see a really short video put out by Walmart.
Customers today expect everything to be fast. Expectations change on a dime. How will your business keep up? Today, Walmart is launching Walmart GoLocal, a white label service designed to help businesses keep pace with modern customers. We're making our scale, delivery infrastructure, and world-class operations available to businesses across America. We're giving businesses the keys to expand their reach with an affordable, proven partner to bring their goods closer to homes in a way that gives retailers large and small delivery options, innovative technologies, and the power to connect with their customers in a way only we can deliver. We're built for business. We know delivery, and we are local.
All right. So I got one other one I want to show you. Oh, and by the way, you would ultimately have drone delivery capability. They have that as part of their service. To me, that's just cool. You know, I don't know if some drone showed up out here at the farm, the rednecks would probably shoot it. But the idea of it is pretty cool, particularly in the places where people don't shoot things out of the sky. So, okay. We'll try this one here. Screen. Okay, there we go.
Does that drone shooting require a hunting license?
Yeah, hell if I know. I guess it depends if you're shooting from your property or not, right? I don't know. All that stuff's above my pay grade, I can tell you that.
And welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live. I'm Julie LaRoche in for Kiko Fujita. And Zach, we're going to talk about one of my favorite stocks to talk about is Walmart.
Yeah, it was interesting here to see this news in Walmart kind of coming out and entering into the delivery space. That was kind of the big wave they made. Spark Driver, of course, Julie, you know better than I do kind of the way that Walmart has already been delivering, you know, their own projects out there, their own products to customers. Of course, we've seen a similar service there from Target and Shipt. But I mean, when we talk about opening it up to other companies as well to now use the delivery service, it does kind of make that comparison to Amazon a bit more intriguing when you think about them leaning into their own kind of delivery service. They haven't necessarily opened it up. Of course, they sell products to customers from a lot of different third-party operators. But what do you make of this one? Because now it seems like Walmart really increasing its I guess, strength on the logistics side.
I think this has kind of been the story of Walmart in the last year that's been a bit under the radar, is just the number of investments they've been making in what's referred to as last mile delivery and really amping up their own delivery capabilities internally here. But looking, I suppose, Zach, and I don't know for sure, but I suppose they found this is a new revenue stream that they can tap into. And that's kind of like, let's be real, that's when you take a page out of like the AWS playbook, when you can monetize something that's working for you internally and make it external facing. It's called Walmart GoLocal, and they will use their own expertise in delivery to deliver goods to customers and businesses of all different sizes. And remember, just in the past year, how chaotic that holiday shipping season was. And it seems to me that Walmart, given the investments they've been making, look at what they've done with express delivery, for example, when they have 160,000 items available across 3,000 stores covering 70% of the US. They've certainly gotten this kind of down pat, I suppose, and now they can recognize, okay, we have a last mile delivery option, this kind of white label option here through this Walmart GoLocal. Will be an interesting space, I think, for many, many years to watch as more kind of try to grab share here.
I will admit the last mile is kind of one of those tricky spots to watch, just given the way that other tech companies have been increasing their own kind of investment in it too. We've seen a lot of partnerships, particularly in the food space, when we talk about robots, automated robots in some markets, testing out the ability to pick up food from restaurants. I'm thinking about that Domino's partnership, as we highlighted on this show, the robot just picking up pizzas and slanging them everywhere without a human. I mean, you talk about the costs on this, Julia. That's the other thing that stands out, and particularly kind of some of the concerns around gig workers. That's obviously a legal battle now in California for Uber and Lyft. Once again, they thought they put that to rest. But I wonder how much that Walmart even cares about that at this
Well,
point.
I would also maybe I'm just kind of, again, like, I don't know for sure, but they've been retraining a lot of their workers in these new roles as retail evolves, as it embraces more like omni-channel, blending that digital with the physical. I mean, you've seen them kind of retrain a lot of folks to be personal shoppers, perhaps folks within this delivery network. And I think, there's a changing expectation for consumers. And if you have this fleet, this delivery fleet, if you can find other ways to leverage it and monetize it, seems like a pretty smart playbook here. And I'll just give you a quick example, Zach. I needed some trash bags, so I ordered on Walmart this morning because, hey, I live in Florida right now, so I'm near Walmart. Ordered them. They're going to be here apparently by 1 p.m. So remains to be seen on this one. So more grab and share.
Okay. Okay, so that was some financial people looking at it, and my point in showing you that was this is not like a timid minor effort by Walmart. That this is a strategic move to leverage their physical infrastructure. Don't you love words like that? Physical infrastructure. All their damn stores, everywhere you look, they have a really logical footprint for many of us that are in this class, and many small e-commerce businesses, I would argue, farmers, other people trying to deliver direct to consumer, or even for that matter, business to business. I think it works there also. So it's a classic example of leveraging a large organization's strategic move for a tactical purpose for yourself and for your business. So I think that at a minimum, you should really get a grasp of what this would mean to you specifically. I think it's important to know that, even if now is not the time. I will tell you that I am talking to some folks. For example, some of you may know Raleigh Wine Shop. Happens to be a pretty big wine shop in Raleigh, located right next to the legislature. So I think there's some reason for that. But anyway, they have been looking at this for the last week or so, and they have been delivering wine since 2019. And they said this will cut their costs by 70% if they were to switch to this. And wine, for example, and beer, and even whatever you call liquor, distilleries, all of those guys can use this service because Walmart has all those licenses, which is a problem in the delivery space. The owner of Raleigh Wine Shop explained to me that he is bombarded with people who want to deliver his wine, all kinds of companies. And the very first question he asks them, do you have the appropriate license? And they always say, no, we just use yours. But that's not legal in North Carolina. In North Carolina, if you are taking something like that from a wine store or liquor store or whatever, when you walk off that premise, you must be licensed from a legal liability perspective. Once it leaves the store or the warehouse, that license no longer works. But in Walmart's case, they have that. They have that license. Most of their stores certainly sell, wine and beer. I'm not sure about liquor. I don't think in North Carolina, I think you have to buy that through the ABC stores. But anyway, the point of this is I think you're going to see a lot of people using this. And I was really surprised. This guy from Raleigh Wine Shop, he has been bombarded by DoorDash and everyone I've read about has darkened this guy's door, and he loved this program. He immediately wanted to find out more. So he's engaged with them now and figuring out how they can use it. Another group that I'm talking to is the Coastal Federation. They work with oyster fishermen. They have this thing called the North Carolina Oyster Trail. Right now, the oyster guys in North Carolina Very few of them ship directly to consumer. The vast majority of them actually ship to something called Live Seafood, I think is their name. They're a place in the one of the food halls in Raleigh and also in Charlotte, and they sell seafood. And they send a truck down to where all these oyster guys are and pick the stuff up and take it to their store. So all of these oyster guys have a two-step process. They're all basically selling through an intermediary. Whereas around the country, some of the biggest ones in the oyster business, which are mostly from New England and the San Francisco Bay Area, they all sell direct to consumers. They don't have an intermediary. So they're significantly larger operations. And I don't see why our North Carolina oyster companies couldn't have some of that success as well. So what we're going to do now, are there any thoughts or questions at this point? Yeah.
Sorry, I lost audio for a bit, and they might have covered this, and I'm sorry if they did, but I didn't get this gist. So are they taking fulfillment at the different centers and then they deliver, or how is that working?
They will come to your location and pick up the package.
Uh-huh. And then they deliver for you.
Correct.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All righty.
That's just one. That's the one that's real sexy and people like to talk about, because same day delivery in that case. But they actually have everything, you know, all of the different types of whether it's same day, next day, you know, yada, yada, yada. They have all of the various capabilities in the Walmart logistics system. But most of the stuff they're really focusing on is this same day delivery for $10. You know, it's pretty insane. I think same day for $15 in a 20 up to a 20-mile radius is also quite competitive, depending on what you're selling. You know, realize in some cases your average ticket might be low, and that may not be a good deal. But and Jack, what did you have to say?
I had the same question. Just wanted to clarify that. And so the 10 and 20-mile radius is from your business.
Wherever you're telling them to pick it up. So for example, one of the things that I thought of, like a lot of you might be able to make a deal with somebody where you guys take your stuff there, right? That's convenient to you. Maybe it's some other kind of store in your area or some other kind of logical place, and Walmart goes there and picks everyone up instead of going to your house or your, you know, once you start thinking creatively, I think partnerships will really make a difference on it. And it may just be once in a while, right? Maybe you just do your regular mail because that's good enough for most of the time. But there'll be some times when, well, we're gonna let's do this. Let's go through a little bit of their presentation, and then we'll talk about some of the things of application. How do you actually do this? I've been through their process. I've been through both their technical and their non-technical integration. So I can comfortably talk about what I know, subject to correction by someone who really knows, and that would be the team at Walmart. So, okay. So they have their own website, Walmart GoLocal. And here's some of the key points, and we've already been talking about. They're trying to meet a need that they perceived, you know, and leverage the infrastructure that they've already invested in. So white label is really critical. White label means it's your brand. So you are promoting something that is big time, that has your name on it. And I think that's really, really cool. The other side of that is, I think, really important, and we talk about from time to time. It's your customer, not theirs. This is not like Amazon where you don't know the customer and you don't have any data. This is your customer. It says right here, to own the customer relationship end to end. This fits right in with our strategy of first party data. Extensive US coverage, particularly suburban and rural areas. It does not mean that your location is turned on at this moment. It may be. Most of the ones I've checked are. but that is, they have to review your pickup address and let you know if it's available at this moment. It is very early. Their intention is to be everywhere. If you have a Walmart within 20 miles, you should be fine, but it is still being rolled out. So it's something to understand. Yes, Anna.
So I'm trying to, maybe it'll be covered later, but I'm trying to understand how exactly does this work? Like, is this a delivery service that the customer is actually going to place an order via my website?
Yes.
Or, oh, okay. So this is just a back end service. The
Correct.
customer doesn't even see that Walmart is making the delivery.
It's Sana making the delivery.
Okay. That's actually, yeah, you're right. That's big because one of the reasons I didn't even consider working with Amazon was because my brand is so small. I didn't want to just deliver orders where people don't even know who Wendy's is, and because it just looks like Amazon, and you're buying something off of Amazon. So
Yep.
This is good. Thank you.
Yeah, real quick on that point. So they do have the ability to integrate with your website, but they recommend in the beginning they have what's called a portal. And so you would basically get the order, and then you would enter this delivery stuff in the Walmart portal, not your customer, you. They still think it's you, but that portal does not require integration with your system, at least to start. So it's a way to start without it being a super heavy lift. That's the two things they have. Now, also the flexible delivery options, they have everything you can think of. Okay, they have express, they have scheduled, same day, big and bulky. Everything you can possibly imagine, format wise or style wise, they have available in this program. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so I don't know if you've been reading lately, but Amazon actually just fired the guy who runs their warehouses and their logistics because he overbuilt during the pandemic, and they put up I think the number, this could be wrong, I think it was $2 billion worth of warehouses that they are having to close, sell, release because the volume did not justify that kind of expense. So this guy who had been at Walmart for 24 years was in fact fired because of that move. Walmart's network was built for different reasons than Amazon. They were built because I think they have, I don't know, 9,000 stores. I don't know what the number is, some insane number of stores already out there in the world. And they needed to get stuff to those stores. And so they have built this over many years. It's not this boom bust thing that an Amazon is. And the other thing is that, and Sana kind of touched on this, but this idea of controlling the customer experience is really, really important. I don't know about you, but let's just say, I'm making this up, but let's say you buy an iPad from Amazon and you buy some toilet paper. Well, those two items are going to come in the box, and it's just going to be a big Amazon box with a bunch of bubble air things in it and toilet paper and iPad in that box. Now, I would argue that's not a great delivery experience. And in many of your all's cases, and Sana's point is that that's exactly what happens. If you sell through Amazon and someone buys something else, your particular product is going to come in that Amazon box with those inflatable plastic thingies, and that's it. I mean, it's not a luxury experience by any stretch of the imagination, and it's something to know about. So here they're going through some of the things they deliver: auto parts, apparel, groceries, general merchandise, and they can do it all. I mean, basically, you have a world-class technology infrastructure on behalf of what you're doing. So if you, I won't bore you with all this, but they are currently working with both Home Depot and Lowe's. So when you buy stuff from those guys, it is being delivered through this process. And I haven't looked at all of them, but they've got a bunch of major operations. The hard part for them is to get to people like you, to get to small e-commerce businesses, small businesses in particularly in rural areas. They have got a mandate from their CEO to do this, at least for the moment. So I want to try to promote that. This word shipping aggregators, I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but that's also called 3PL is another word you'll hear for that. There are a number of them in North Carolina, for example. So that would be an example where your product would be stored at an aggregator. It would be a warehouse. It would not be Amazon, but it would be some other company. And there are a number of them. And Walmart will go there and pick it up, pick your product up and take it to your customer. So that's something to know about. And that may pay off for some of you to kind of merge some of your operations, some of your deliveries together. This is also important, e-commerce software solutions. So this is an actual unit within Walmart, and the person who runs it reports to the CEO. So it's a separate unit that's headquartered in Manhattan, believe it or not. But they can do all this integration with Shopify and what all to allow this all to be a seamless process. Remembering this is your name on it, not theirs. So that's a pretty big deal, I think. If you end up doing enough business to kind of make it worthwhile, you can have that integration. So this company here, I'm not super knowledgeable. Maybe some of you are. Spark, I believe, is owned by Walmart, but it could be a separate company, but I don't think so. I think it's a Walmart company. They basically hire people to do these deliveries, at least certain types of deliveries. And it's on an app. And so it's kind of like Uber or Uber or Lyft, where the driver has an app and they get a notice, say, hey, go pick up a package at Mrs. Ruth's Jams. And that person goes and gets it. So it's kind of that mentality. And there's a lot of stuff in here. They're looking for people. So this is an employment opportunity. If you know somebody who would find this enjoyable maybe as a side hustle, a college kid or whatever, I think there's opportunity. They're looking for people to do this. So they've got a little video on how it works. My understanding is one of the unique things about this is this is not a route delivery system. This is point to point. So you're not on a truck with a whole bunch of people and the guy's driving all around, the woman's driving all around, and your product comes out at some point. My understanding is, at least with the same day, that is point to point. That driver is going to pick it up and that driver is going to take it to its destination for the same day delivery. But they have a whole operation here called Spark, and there's a lot of information on this as well. So, all right. So I think it's a great day to be a small e-commerce player. And the other thing I'm trying to do, and this, you don't have to worry about this, but what I'm trying to do is corral Walmart's attention to us. So I'm trying to get them to have their national PR team interview me. I'm badgering them for stories. I'm badgering them I'm telling them about you all, and maybe they'll end up doing a story on somebody. My job is to make this as high profile as possible for all of us and for North Carolina. So that's kind of my agenda behind the scenes, is to make sure they know who we are. And, when we get people up and using the system, they actually have told me they will, in fact, put their national PR team on this. And so anyway, that's all a positive thing, I think, for us. And the other thing of this, the beauty of it is there's no upfront cost to you guys at all for any of this, which, is great. It may not always be that way, but going into business with your own branded delivery service for free, backed by the top logistics network in the United States, I've had worse deals. So anybody want to talk? Tammy, you're a food person. What do you think?
I think this is great, and I deliver to a couple of distributors, and one of them does come pick up, which is really just so fabulous. The other one I have to deliver to, but we have often said, we be right down this road.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is fabulous. I'd love to know who the contact is with Walmart GoLocal and see it.
Yeah, I will. Well, let's. I'll just do this. What I'd like to do is introduce each one of you, but that's probably wishful thinking. Hold on one second here. GoLocal. Okay, so I'll put this in the. So just be aware that this is the head of the program. Okay, so what's going to happen is she's going to assign somebody to you. All right, so just don't be misunderstanding. But I want to deal with her because she makes stuff happen, and I don't want to have to deal with bureaucracy. So her name is Allie, Flum. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Allie is a young woman. I don't even think she's 30. She might be. I'm not sure. But she was a senior person at Uber Eats. So she was obviously recruited by Walmart for this. So let me put her email into. She's real nice, and she really wants to help small businesses. That's kind of her jam. So, we're currently getting a lot of attention from them, which is why I call this meeting. I wasn't quite sure how to do this, but I figured we'll just go ahead and do it. So it's in the chat, and I'll put it on the Facebook too. So Allie Flum, Flum is her name, and Allison.flum@walmart.com. So reach out to her. I'm going to let her know that I shared this with the class. And she will have someone on her team figure this out. One of the things they wanted us to do, which I cannot do, I just don't have the horsepower or the people. They wanted me to aggregate all the payments. So, if you use the service and it costs you $10, they wanted me to aggregate all you guys to do that. And I just can't do it. So someone's asking me, is their name or email misspelled? It's always possible. It's Allison.Flum. Allison, no, that's right. Allie Flum is her name. That's it.
Is Allison with two L's or one L?
Yeah. Well, all I have is what I have that she sent me. And so she goes by Allie, Allie, and her email is allison.flum@walmart.com.
With one L in Allison.
Yep. I know. This is why normally I cut and paste things because I'm so terrible at typing.
Yeah.
But in this case, and if you have a problem, let me know and I'll figure it out. But at any rate, I do think it's a wonderful opportunity. And, how it'll all work out, I don't know. But they seem to be genuinely interested. I would also ask you that if you have friends or businesses that you think would benefit from this, run them through me in terms of Dennis Trott sent me or whatever, just because we're going to get lost in the shuffle. If there's a lot of activity, I want Allie to feel free to call me. So yeah. I get nothing out of this financially, but I do want some degree of insight as to who's being sent to her. It helps me a great deal with leveraging the possibilities. Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about how best to share this with not just my farmers, but all of our farmer members.
Yeah. The thing that we're going to have to do, and I don't know if I know you have this, is probably to send to them all of the addresses so they can pre-clear or do as it turned on in that particular location, because there are some spots they're just not ready yet. They will be, but so that's what they had me do, and I sent them a list of some folks, and I think I sent them 10 names, and 8 were authorized to go live now. The other 2 not yet. So, and then the other thing is if I think craft breweries, wineries, distilleries, that they have the ability to do that. And that was a very interesting conversation. So I'll just share with you, you may find it interesting. So the guy who owns the wine shop said to me, he said, historically, delivery from any kind of alcohol is primarily college students ordering a 12-pack of Natty Boh late at night because they don't want to get a DWI driving to buy more beer. That's the typical. But he said when the pandemic hit, that all changed dramatically. And now he said a high percentage of their longtime customers have turned into delivery only. And I don't know if that's true for craft breweries. I think breweries a lot of people tend to go hang out there. So I don't know. But certainly with distilleries, I would think that would be the case. And these wine guys also. So a lot of little dynamics at play here, but this whole idea of your own white label delivery service, it actually takes a lot off your plate if you think about it. You got a lot of stuff to do, and this is potentially a partnership that can make your life better. I say that and it'll turn into a nightmare, but I will say that. Sana, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had my hand raised.
Okay. Yeah, Jack.
Did you say that is one option that you would take your products to a Walmart store and they would then go that would be the delivery, the starting point?
That was discussed, but I've not had anybody follow up on that. Almost everybody wants it to be picked up. And to be fair, the original group that I sent them were primarily in Raleigh and Charlotte because I knew that they were, lit up. So I think that that's not something that's focused on. I personally think they'll do whatever it takes. And that seems like a logical thing to me, but I haven't really gone down that path, really, frankly, to be absolute about it.
I was just thinking that if somebody had multiple packages for delivery in a metro area, and that was outside the radius from their farm or their business, they might just we'll pack up the van or truck with it, go to the Walmart. That's 10 miles. So we've got one trip to Walmart instead of 15 or 20 throughout Raleigh.
No question. I had a conversation with the oyster guys, and that's what they would like to do. They'd like to be able to use the Walmart in Morehead City or in New Bern to take their oysters and then have it delivered from there. Now, oysters is a little bit different because they're not within 20 miles of anywhere. So you probably can't even get to Walmart in 20 miles. So that, I think, same day is out for those guys, unless they get to a place where that can be facilitated. So this is all, all to be figured out, but we're at the level in the corporation where someone is listening and caring about us and has the ability to do any of this, from what I can tell. She's not a braggadocio kind of person or anything like that. She's very low key. And I think she also, Jack, this is more to your point, I think she wants to walk before she runs. She wants to get some of you all in this system, and who knows what war she has to fight. Who knows, right? I don't know. So I don't want to oversell her pace, but I think we have as good a person as I can imagine, in our corner. I think there's only one person between her and the CEO, if I understand it right. So we have an audience. We have someone who seems to care, And I do think, some kind of partnership with Walmart, maybe with the state jack or some other way of doing this, that's in our future. But let's start with getting a few of you all into the system and see if, play around, see if it's something that helps make your life better. So anyone else? Oh, Ruth, yeah, you got your hand up. Oh, that's cool. I never saw it on you. The first person that people have ever used the hand raise. So I'm impressed.
Okay, we're just being polite Southerners.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting, and I am interested in talking with the lady further. But I had a few questions, as you might expect I would. So I think it's lovely if they happen to be in the same city, but say if it's across the state or to a different state. I mean, are they set up to do that with this program, or is this really
Yes.
just local delivery?
No, it's everything. Their system does all of that. And this is what I don't know really from Allie's perspective, what kind of dials she has to, spin or push to do other things. So this is all part of the engagement process because all of you have a different, goal or a different customer base. So I think it's something I know they could literally move a house is my understanding and their capability. So the answer is yes, but is it available to us at this moment in time? Who knows? But I can assure you their intention is to be ubiquitous, to have it everywhere, everything you can think of all the time.
Well, and that makes sense. But,
Yeah.
I'm thinking what trucks come in my neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And you don't see a Walmart truck in a neighborhood.
Well, most
at this point.
Well, remember, this is white label. So what's going to happen? You're not going to get a Walmart truck. You're going to get something else. You're going to get a Spark vehicle, which could be completely unmarked. I don't know about you, but lately I've been getting packages from Amazon with people driving like Audis. The Audi pulls up, down my farm driveway. Don't see many of them here. So I go, what the hell is that? And I go out there and there's some lady on a Sunday afternoon working for Amazon, delivering my cornflakes or whatever the hell we ordered. So, yeah, it's private. It's white label.
Okay, cool. All righty. Well, I'm definitely I'd love to chat further because shipping is as with many of you all, I know we all bear that problem of how you ship stuff and get it there and it's not broken and it's not crazy expensive and all that. So
yeah,
well, cool. Well, thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you. Welcome. But I don't know if I told you all, but my first e-commerce website was in 1996. So I've been doing this a really long time. And so I actually know a fair amount about shipping, unfortunately. The real problem has been that there's really no alternative to FedEx or UPS, other than your US Post Office, which is nobody has any control over. But FedEx and UPS are just so hard to work with. They're rigid, in my opinion. Their pricing is their pricing, especially FedEx. So I haven't really. I mean, you guys are perfectly capable of calling them up and getting an account. So I didn't see any value that I could add, even though I do have a lot of experience. This struck me as a whole different animal. This is something that, with this trend toward all this private label or white label stuff with payments, it just seems to me that this is a remember that old book Megatrends? This is a mega trend. It's kind of going around that strikes me as an opportunity for all of us to participate in. And I do think, to Jack's point, he's got a whole network. Ruth, you do also with the specialty food people. I want to get this word out, and we could do it like this. We could have a talk. We could invite them, and I could go through this. We could even have Allie participate in the call. One of the problems with this is I really want everyone to hear the same thing, at least in the beginning, because I don't want people running down all kinds of false alleys or, all kinds of confusion. I'd really like them to, and looking at their website's a good place to start because that lays it all out. I'm sure there'll be lots of different things that we'll learn. But, I think it'd be really cool to do a same day delivery to somebody, maybe one of your biggest customers, just to freak them out. And say, oh my God, this came from Opal's Candies Delivery. Jesus, I guess I bought a lot of candy or something. I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of neat little marketing angles, which of course is how I look at the world. So any other thoughts or questions about it at this point? Okay, well, I'll also, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to put the URL for the Spark program so you can see that, and I'll put the URL for the GoLocal website. Let me do that also. Okay, so that's in the chat, and I'll put it on Facebook. But also, if I could, when you do reach out to Allie, just be sure to include my name somewhere in there so she keeps us all in the same basket, because it'll help us, because I can imagine her inbound is crazy. So that'll be kind of her way to keep it organized, knowing that it's coming from my efforts. And we don't get any money out of it or anything like that, of course, but I do like the idea of big partners who can help us solve problems and affordably, and this fits that bill as far as I'm concerned. All right, well, thank you everybody for your questions, and hopefully this will be useful to everybody. It may be that it's only useful to some, I understand that, but the world is changing really quickly in this space, and the way things have been done in the past are changing. I think because of the pandemic, there's been some permanent changes in consumer behavior, and I think delivery is one of those that we're, every time you see a picture of a drone delivering an ice cream cone or something, it's just crazy. So I don't know where it's all going, but we'll have a seat at the table. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.